Happy afternoon. I am Robyn Steckel, and I am a real-life trader, as Tracy already mentioned. And Tracy was one of the very first people that I did meet. My presentation today is You Can Too. We do have a disclaimer that trading has liability and risks associated with it. You are responsible for the decisions you make while trading. You are the only person or the only one pressing the buttons. It is your responsibility to understand the risks associated with placing a trade. This presentation is intended for educational purposes only. A quick intro on myself. If I had one word to describe me, I would say I am happy. I feel as if I have been happy my entire life. It's just a part of my personality. It's something I wake up in the morning and I'm ready to go. I am happy. It's just genetic. I have been so fortunate to have very, very strong independent women in my life. It has been from my mother to my grandparents. They are strong. They taught me very young in life that I can do anything, and I am so very, very grateful for them. I have an amazing support group. I have a very supportive husband, my mother, my family, and my friends. I'm obsessed with being open-minded, and it may come as a shock to people that know me now, but in my early days, I was quite closed-minded. And it wasn't until a friend told me that I was closed-minded, and here all the time I thought I was open-minded. Opening my mind has been just so liberating, and I've learned so much, and it's highly recommended. I'm a lifelong learner. I've been trading very part-time since October of 2018 due to the fact that I have a full-time job, which goes into the next bullet. I work full-time. I'm married, have household duties, have yard work duties. I am a co-host and co-founder of a podcast. I have workout and manifest Monday weekly sessions, and I host the Madison, Wisconsin Real Life Trading Monthly Meetup. The objective today is I want to come across to let you all know that you do have time. Where and how do you start? Extreme focus on process and reboot as much as you need. I'm sure some of you are thinking, you have got to be kidding me right now. There is no way that I have time. You do. I had a previous employer that would say at the end of any type of an interaction with a patient or a client, I have time. How may I help you? And at first, everybody just laughed and laughed and laughed because so many of us thought we don't have any time. Jeremy came into my life 2 years ago in June, and he too was, you have time. And I thought, gosh, I keep hearing this, you have time, you have time. I just don't know how you have time. You do need to be open-minded about accepting suggestions and trying them out on your own. Priorities versus excuses is something that I have worked on very hard the past 2 years, making things a priority and not using excuses. And I absolutely have the time with my booked schedule. I'm very active, and you do too. This is something that Jeremy promoted probably a year and a half ago. I'm sure he was doing this for a very long time. However, this is something that just really struck me, and I have been using it the past 2 years. I won't go into a lot of detail, but it breaks down for you your daily life and how you can adjust this. So 40 hours of work, which is on the light side for me, 56 hours of sleep, etc., and we come to, guess what? You have 29 extra hours a week. I hope this comes as a surprise to some of you, because it came as a huge surprise to me. The next thing you might be asking yourself is, okay, I'll do Robyn's little graph and I will make time, but where and how do I start? And this is something that has struck me for a long time, and I struggled with it for quite some time. Your support system is incredibly important, and you need to identify who's supporting you. Is it a spouse? Is it a partner? Is it a best friend? Is it your family? Who supports you? When times start getting tough, I feel strongly that you need to figure out who your support group is and lean on them, and they will help get you through. Something else that's important, I feel, is a personality test. And there's two strong personality tests out there that a lot of people are familiar with. One is Myers-Briggs, and the other is 16 personalities. Something that really resonated when I met Jeremy is that we are both ESTJs, and Jeremy and I chuckled quite a bit about how similar our personalities were. And in 16 personalities, it delves a little deeper into day-to-day, so you can understand the type of person you are in order to be a good trader. Self-awareness is something too that you need to think about. When you wake up in the morning, do you have a migraine? Do you have a headache? Do you have stressors on your mind? Are you working full time? And is that really the right time to trade? Or do you wake up in the morning and you're ready to go and you're hitting the charts an hour before market opens and you're ready for the trading day? I do feel that's very important, and there have been several times where I have noticed that I was not in the right frame of mind to trade and I shut everything down. It's been very good for me to do that. And currently, you're in the right place. If you're in this session, I cannot recommend a better trading group to be with. Everyone here is incredibly supportive. Everybody will help you out. Beginner, advanced, it doesn't matter where you are. You can always ask a question and people will be there to help you. In action, that's where you start. One little baby step. That's all you need to do. Here are some books and YouTube suggestions that I have for you since I am a beginner trader. Books: Money Grows on Trees by our own Jeremy Alexander Newsom. This book resonated with me. My mother was gracious enough to tell me about this book and I purchased it. This was a real mindset change for me. Jeremy talks about abundance, and it was something that I had heard of before, but I didn't really think about it. And after going through Jeremy's book and doing the exercises in the book, going into it with an open mind, it has been a huge game changer. Another book, 13 Things Mentally Strong Women Don't Do. I am happy to say that I didn't do any of the 13, so I was super excited with myself. Atomic Habits, fantastic book. It really does get down to the details of what you need to do. I am going to do 13 burpees after I shut my laptop down at lunch and before I eat. It's very actionable. And The Man Who Solved the Market. YouTube, obviously everybody should be have the like button and subscribe to Jeremy Newsom and Real Life Trading. I cannot tell you the substantial amount of education that's out there. I also like to listen to Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, TED Talks, and The Secret. Audible books: Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil, Girl, Wash Your Face, and Trading in the Zone. Podcasts: I do host and co-found the I Can Do Anything podcast, motivational and supportive for ladies and men. The Broke to Woke podcast with Jeremy Newsom and Brittany Turner. In my mind, Rags to Riches and the Struggle and the Success. Fantastic. Season 2 will be coming out shortly. Dax Shepard, Armchair Expert. Anybody that knows me knows I listen to Dax Shepard all the time. A part of the reason that I do is because his guests are so varied. You can hear from so many different topics and so many different people. It really gives you a global view into this American life. So extreme focus on the process. When you start, or even as an experienced trader, there is so much information out there on YouTube, Twitter, the news, any of the Jim Cramers, and you get overwhelmed with all of the stocks are out there and you want to buy all of them and they're all bouncing off the 100 or they've all put in daily hammers. I highly suggest that you focus on just one stock. And that might seem counterintuitive, but once you start to watch the price action, watch the volume, any indicators that you want to use. I just think that watching one stock really gives you a good overall view, and then you can start moving on when you're successful to 2 stocks or 3 stocks, anything that you are interested in. I will say that I do not use penny stocks, or I do not trade penny stocks. I do typically trade blue chip and or stocks that are $20 or more. And then the next thing is, which method should you use? There are so many methods out there. Do you use the EMAs, the SMAs? Do you use indicators? And that is not going to come overnight. You are going to have to take some time in order to find out what works best for you. You'll hear people using the VWAP or Fibonacci's or Bollinger Bands or TTM squeeze, and you start getting overwhelmed. Pick something super simple, which is the information that Jeremy shares with us, and you'll be on your way. And what is back trading versus back testing? This was something that I was very confused on in the very beginning. Back trading is something that you do when you pick a stock, and if you're like me, you typically will look in the evenings or on the weekends and go back and pretend that it's the trading day and see if your method works for you, and if you were in a good trade or a trade that didn't work out so well, and what you could learn from that trade. Rebooting. All of us know what burnout means, and all of us knows what burnout feels like. It's important for you to know how you recharge personally. I like to go by the lake. I like to go outside. I like to read an interesting book. I like to watch YouTube videos. But how do you personally recharge? Because that's going to be very, very important in your trading career. Also, stepping back. It's okay to step back. It's okay to take a day off. It's okay to take a week off. It's even okay to take a couple of months off. Knowing when to get back in the game is critical, and you will know when that time comes because you're going to be super excited to hit the charts again. And you're going to want to know what people are doing and what stocks they're looking at. Just know how you personally recharge your batteries, and then you'll know when to get back in the game. We will be having our questions at the end of our presentations.